From the Collins Kettle Club, the gold standard herself, Goldie Collins.
Hi there, I'm Goldie Collins, the alpha of WoW Women of Wrestling, as well as one half of your favorite tag team, Animal Instinct. And I'm here on the Mike Rand Show to remind you all why they call me the best in show.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Mike Rand Show. And today's special guest, welcoming back from WoW Women of Wrestling, please welcome back Goldie Collins. Hey, Goldie, how you doing?
Hi, Mike. I am golden. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh, it is always a pleasure.
And we have a great show lined up for you this weekend on WoW Women of Wrestling, everybody. I just want to let everybody know what's going on. Goldie Collins is reuniting with Katarina Jinx. Animal Instinct is going to take on Sugar and Spice. Plus, we also have a newcomer, Gabriela Cruz, who's going to take on Sylvia Sanchez. Plus, Big Rig Betty and Jesse Jones are out for revenge on Scout Parker and Spouts Green after they assaulted them for crossing a picket line. Plus, in the main event, Tormenta has her title shot against Samantha Smart's brainchild, the Classmaster. That's all this weekend on WoW, Women of Wrestling. But now, Goldie, on to you. We got to talk about this match this weekend. But before
Yeah.
that, I want to know, we've got to get this out of the way. There's been some rumors going around about you and Katarina. I mean, you two just recently had singles matches, which you both started off as singles competitors. Yet I'm hearing from the announce team, that, oh, look, Goldie's alone. She's wrestling alone this week. Katarina's wrestling. What is up with that? Who's starting these rumors?
Love to know who's starting these rumors. I don't put it past those two rednecks, Jesse and Big Rig Betty. They're probably still trying to sabotage us. They're still upset about everything that happened earlier this season. But I just want to put those rumors to rest because that's what they are, rumors. I My kitty cat and I are as bonded, as tight as ever. Though we have returned to dabbling in singles competition, we are still firmly a faction. We are together, we are working together, we are constantly training together, and there is nothing that could break our bond.
Yeah, I mean that's just silly of them. I'm sitting there, I'm like, Goldie started off as a singles wrestler. Come on, she can't wrestle alone one week. What's going on
That's
here?
that's what I'm saying. And on top of that, I think it's important for us to stretch ourselves. And sometimes that means going at it alone. As much as I love having her around, and I hope and think she appreciates having me around, it's nice to get back to our roots and to get out there and remind ourselves that we can do things, hard things, alone sometimes too.
Yep. And now one thing you two are going to do together though this weekend is battle Sugar and Spice. So I want to know, what is your game plan for this weekend?
We've been discussing it, and it's not the first time. It's also not the second or third time that we have faced these mighty mites. So we've become familiar. I think similar to Katarina and myself, they have a very strong bond. And so often, what we like to do is separate them from each other and really, break down one of them at a time because then it forces them to have to work a little harder because their other half is just out of service. So we have a few tricks up our sleeve. We have been planning because obviously with the rumors, we want to show up and show out this weekend.
Yeah. And since last time we spoke, you two have been involved in a big feud throughout the year with Big Rig Betty and Jesse Jones. So I want to talk a
Hmm.
little bit about that feud. So it all kind of
Yeah.
started when you two took them on for the tag team championship, which eventually turned into a triple threat match against Sweet Heat. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So, yes, I'm glad you bring this up because oftentimes it's forgotten where this whole feud began. We were just fighting for our right for a title shot, one that I believe is completely deserved and earned. And at that time, somehow, some way, Miss Lana Starr was able to insert herself in our business. And in doing so, she had those twins, the ponytails, as I call them, interfered in a match that we were destined to win. I don't know where they get off thinking that everything is about them because it's not. It's certainly not. If it was about anyone, it'd be about me. But I digress. Because of their interference, we were never given a fair shot. And in that, then began the next step of this so-called feud. And Kitty and I are simply victims in all of this. We were not given a fair title shot. And then in, returning to what is supposed to be a safe space for my dear Alexander, we found them breaking and entering, and somehow that became our fault. We were continually put up to these challenges that frankly, were unfounded. I'm still uncertain when they're going to be paying me back for all of the dog food that they spoiled in going into Alexander's dressing room. It was uncalled for. I wish there would have been some sort of authority leaning in and seeing my point of view because, frankly, I don't think I was in the wrong.
Yep. And then you did get to have a little bit of revenge in a loser eats dog food match. So that kind of reminds me a little bit about back in the day when there was a little feud in WWE. Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns had this dog feud match, the King Corbin
Yes.
character.
Uh-huh. Yes, I remember that all too well. I did a little bit of research actually myself before this dog food match because frankly, I was not going to be eating what they were providing. If they had provided the standard of food that we are used to feeding Alexander, well, I don't know if I really would have been fighting it. I maybe just would have come with an appetite. However, what they were offering, that canned nonsense, I didn't really want any part of that. So Kitty and I did our homework and we strategized a way to ensure that we would not be eating any dog food.
Yes. And when it comes to dog food, I do need to know, what does Alexander the Grand eat?
His diet does vary. We like to keep him in show shape. So that requires us to, monitor his macros and ensure that we are in a calorie deficit. However, he tends to bounce between his meats. We like to change out. Some weeks, maybe he gets a fresh cut salmon. Other times, we do a grass fed steak. He loves steak. When we eat steak, he eats steak, as well as then perhaps a roasted chicken. It sort of ebbs and flows because I'd hate for him to get tired of his food. But we like to balance it with some grains, often a rice or something of the sort and a veggie. He loves broccoli. He likes carrots. He's not very picky, which I appreciate because kids they need their vegetables.
Yep, and he wouldn't be caught dead eating any of that dog food that they, had in that match, of course.
No, that canned. Oh gosh. Oh my. I can't even. I've refrained from reading the ingredient list on those because it hurts my heart too much. Honestly, it might have taken a few years off of Jesse Jones and Big Rig's life feeding it to them. But that's the price you pay.
And then there was also a dog collar match. Tell us about that match.
That match. You see, I thought that the dog food match would have been enough to put it to rest. Had David or, anyone of authority looked at what had happened up to this point and understood that we were just getting our just desserts, our revenge on them for breaking and entering and spoiling his food, why I don't understand why we had to escalate further. I don't get it. So when Jessica Jones and Big Rig Elizabeth, as I like to call them, came into the ring and decided, oh, if we're gonna be dogs, we're gonna use dog collars. Please. Alexander is excellent off leash. We don't need that sort of thing. He's trained. So it's a little uncomfortable when I find that they need to use restraints in order to get what they want. What? People don't like you, they don't listen to you. That's a you problem. And so when they brought that in and they said, hey, we're going to use these collars and leashes, I mean, frankly, I was disturbed. And obviously, my poor dear kitty, uh, cats don't tend to do well on leash. They tend to not like the restraint. So, any fear that you maybe saw, that was just our animal instinct. I mean, we're not used to being confined and caged. Um, but we braved up and we showed up and we did what we had to do. Albeit I'm still not certain that there was not any funny business. I've watched it back, and it seems to me that the ref was in cahoots with a certain other tag team. So I'm looking forward to a rematch at any time, sans dog collars.
Now, someone else that you did have a rematch with was Miami's Sweet Heat. Tell us
Mm.
what it was like facing them again.
You know, they are an interesting breed, those twins. I've not quite been able to crack the code of twins. You see, our animal instinct is strong, but there is something darkly sinister about that twin telepathy. I just I don't want to say I fear it because I don't fear anything, but I am disgusted by it.
And a couple newer people to WoW. Tara Kai
Oh.
and Ashley Blaze teamed up and faced Animal Instinct as well. Can you tell us what it was like working with them?
You see, it was very strange because we were told we would be facing the JoJo Defenders. But unfortunately, when Tara, not to make the same joke twice, but she struck out. During her issues with top tier, I felt that we should have just been given the automatic win. It's not our fault that she's unable to compete, or Kara should have to defend the dojo on her own. However, they gave her the opportunity to bring in a partner, a new partner, and I didn't have time to do my research on Ashley Blaze. So I find it was an unfair advantage because Ashley Blaze knew who she was going to be fighting, but I was not given the proper time and warning to know who I would be facing. It felt a little odd that Tara was so quick to move on. I mean, if something so devastating happened to my kitty, why, I'd be in a state of mourning for weeks, months, hell, maybe even years.
Now, someone else who also had a new partner in a match against you was Sugar because she teamed up with Kita Rush. Can you tell us
Mm,
about that? Spice was not around that week, even though you'll be facing
yes.
Sugar and Spice this weekend.
I understand what Sugar was doing. She was looking for someone who has a long history of fighting the bad guys. But unfortunately, I'm a very good girl. So Keita Rush was just no match for me. I do someday hope to see her again. I mean, I respect the fact that she wears gold. She's obviously a fan. But I'd love to see her in the ring again. Maybe give her another opportunity because I am very willing to share my time and talent with those who are less fortunate.
And then you also face Tiki Chamorro and the Island Girl.
Mm. Yes, that was an interesting one. I've kept my tabs on that Tiki Chamorro the last few years, so it was interesting to finally meet her in the ring. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought they brought some island fire. However, I I don't know. I think they just were such a fresh tag team that they hadn't quite found their rhythm and they weren't you know, quite in sync with one another. So I'd be interested to face them again. I mean, they clearly were not up to the standard of Animal Instinct, but hey, I can't blame them for that.
You did also face Xena Phoenix. You didn't win that one though. What happened in that match?
Yes, you see, that is a tough one. I will give Xena this. She, though new, has figured out a sort of cheat code, if you will. That arm bar is devastating, and I've seen many a competitor get hit with it and risk their career. And so when I was caught off guard, I'll admit it, in that armbar, I knew to tap immediately because I cannot put myself at risk for an injury that could alter the timeline of Animal Instinct. I mean, I would be interested in facing her in the future again, perhaps with the stipulation of no submissions, no tap outs, and maybe no arm bars. I mean, I think if she was banned from using that illegal armbar, the match might have ended differently.
Now, who do you want to face coming up in WoW?
Hmm. Well, as always, I'm interested in a title shot. So whoever has any of the titles at any point, I'm looking at them. That's where my focus is. So currently, the singles title, Tormenta is getting her opportunity, pish posh, whatever. Whoever walks away with that title, I'd like a shot. The tag titles, I'm tired. Frankly, I'm tired of all this pink nonsense. I think we need to bring some Animal Instinct back into the picture. And so I'm suggesting that all those girls just stop their fighting. Lana Star needs to get it together. I thought she was like this mastermind manager, and frankly right now things are looking bleak for those ladies. So I would like to take those titles away from them and give them an opportunity to kind of shape up and figure out their interpersonal drama because it's adding a lot of turmoil to the tag division. And then in
Yep.
the trios, I mean, we don't have a third right now, but as soon as we have someone that fits the standard of Animal Instinct and is into the idea of joining a faction such as ours, I mean, top tier better watch out because we'll be coming to take those from them.
Well, we will be watching you. We will be watching you because you are the gold standard, Goldie. Thank you
It's
so much
true.
for joining us here today.
Oh, of course, Mike. It's always a pleasure to have me.
And can you tell everybody how they can keep up with you on social media?
Of course. So you can find me personally at Goldie Collins underscore wow or at Goldie C underscore wow, dependent on the platform. But if you search Goldie Collins, well, I'll always pop up. And you can find wow as well on every platform at Wow Superheroes.
And you guys can find me. My website is mikeran.com. On Instagram, I'm at official Mike Rand, as well as on Facebook. And on X, I am Mike Rand.com, like the website, mikeran.com. And of course, here on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Thank you all for joining us here today. And thank you again, Goldie. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Mike. Thank you.